know it's a bit silly to be getting so excited over one 30-minute run, but vibes are so high right now. First double in almost a year. It's the little wins. You gotta take the little wins. And in the new Vomero Plus, oh, they're so good. They are so good. Man, it got dark fast last night. First double run in a long time last night. And we have a chance, a small chance, but still a chance, of hitting another big milestone this morning. 100k week. If I get just over 23k this morning in my hour 45 long run, which I should, then that'll be my first 100 kilometer, I think I said 100 mile before, first 100 kilometer week in a long time. I'm not sure if it's the first one this year. It could be, but after a stressful and tiring week for reasons that we'll get to in a minute, in a couple minutes for you, a couple hours for me. But it is the small wins that you have to take. Oh, so I'm so pumped. I can't wait to get out there this morning. It's a windy, rainy, drizzly day. A bit miserable, but this is a big milestone. And first long run, the Vomero 18s. So we'll do a little mini review. Other than that, I reckon let's get out there. Let's get out there on a soggy Sunday morning on the Gold Coast, do a half marathon and talk about shoes and screwing up pitches that you've been working on for 6 weeks and running the risk of not finishing something the first time you have an actual deadline to have something finished. So let's go. Oh. Hit the turnaround, heading north again. Only 38 minutes left this morning. Oh, what a long run. That was headwind basically every single way that you could possibly think. It was like every corner you go around, you're back into the headwind, which was so dumb, but 24.3k, 4:19s, maybe a little bit hard, but it felt good. It felt really good the whole way. And a big breakfast, pancakes, pancake time. My Kipchoge picture. As you can see, I have tried to do it 3 times. You can't see that one right now, but you will in a second. The first time, I buggered up the number. The second time, I got within 2 or 3 days of finishing it, started to rush, and buggered up the white section. And here we have the latest version of it, which I'll bring it closer so we can have a better look. I haven't managed to screw anything up on this one yet, but there's still time, so be patient. This is getting to be a real issue because I've never had deadlines before, so that's new. I have a deadline with this picture. I've been working on that one since June. I have 2 weeks to finish this one, and I'm a little bit stressed about it. So, I do have a schedule. It's hidden behind here. If I stick to this, I might get it done. If I don't stick to this, I won't get it done. And this is a really big deal. that I get this done. You'll find out why eventually. Yeah, it's starting to really stress me out because I'm genuinely concerned that I won't finish it. I like to be positive, so I'm going to give it a really good crack, and I have to be even more honest that this one is turning out way better already than that one was. Just to give you a little close-up look, if I can get the exposure right, there we go. That white, oh my goodness, it looks like you could pick it up. It is coming along so well. And that orange, I've rejigged the colors. I've just changed a couple little things. I've actually learnt so much which I will take forward into the future and into future pieces. Oh, big week of training in the bank. I made it this morning. 24.29k this morning. Hour 45, 419 average in the new Vomero Plus. And that brings my weekly total to 100.5k. So I am so happy. I couldn't be happier right now. Massive week, 3 weeks out from Sydney now. I think about 10 weeks out still from Melbourne, half, and that is such a good place to be, and it's just time to keep consistency. Next week, gonna wanna bang out 100k. The week after, hopefully 100k, and then dip off into Sydney. Nice easy week, well, easy week in terms of mileage, taper, get ready for a race, and have a really strong race. But what you're here for probably, the Vomero Plus. These are pretty awesome shoe. Pretty special shoe, I think, getting close to. Could be the Nike shoe of the year. Gonna do a really quick comparison to the Vomero 18 standard, or Icon as they call it, and the Plus. Stats. You know the stats on this one. Vomero 18 Plus. The stats are 43 mil in the heel, 33 mil in the forefoot, 10 mil drop. It looks way chunkier than that, but it's a trick. The side wall of the shoe comes up quite a long way, and I think that actually helps the stability of this shoe because you are quite a long way off the ground and the foam is significantly softer than the Vomero 18, which probably doesn't need that because, again, it's a harder foam, so it's going to be more stable anyway. 273 grams in a men's US 9. So I'm a 10, so you could imagine it's going to be a little bit more than that. It's probably getting closer to 200, it's probably getting closer to 300 grams. It's really not a heavy shoe. It is a heavy shoe, but for a daily trainer, it doesn't really matter. Like, come on. You don't need a light shoe for daily training. You need just a good, solid, heavy shoe to get your Ks done. Now, I have done 12k in them yesterday morning, 7k in them last night, 24k in them today. So that is nearly 40k, around 40k. I'm bad at maths. So I've got a good idea of how they are. They are surprisingly fast compared to the 18s, and they really just they get a roll on, but they're not anything crazy in terms of springiness. They're just more soft. They're kind of everything you would have hoped the Invincible would have been, but didn't end up being, because that shoe just ended up being really soggy and just really, for me, it ended up being just a really soggy shoe to run in. It was the only way I could describe how it felt. This one, it just felt nice and soft, nice and plush, but it wanted to roll. I was averaging 419s this morning, so that's a decent pace for me for a long run. I've seen so many videos on Clayton Young's docu-series of Conor Mantz in these, doing 20-mile long runs at paces that I could dream to race at, so they can get moving. The foam, this is where it gets tricky. There's Zoom X foam, so it's written on there. It's not the same Zoom X that you'd find in an Alphafly. It is a different blend of Zoom X. It is definitely really soft, but it's completely missing that real pop that the Pebax-based ZoomX has. That's what you have in your Alpha Flyers, Vapor Flyers, all that sort of stuff. This ZoomX, from things I've read and all that, is geared towards durability more than like pure out and out performance, and it's geared towards cushion. So durability and cushion as opposed to performance and pop, which I didn't think was a bad thing. The upper, it's pretty standard Nike upper. To be honest, I like the upper on the Vomero 18 more, but it fit well. It was true to size. If anything, I thought it was actually slightly bigger than a 10 normally is in Nike, which it's weird to say, but my toes normally pushing right up against the edge of the shoe, and in these I have about a thumb in between the end of the shoe and my toe, which that's not a bad thing, but just keep that in mind when you're looking at getting them. The heel collar, super plush, no problems for me. Stack height feels great. It's, like I said, 10 mil. I actually have a heel raise in these because just while I'm rehabbing these calf issues that I've had, it was been recommended to me by my physio for probably the next year or so to wear a heel raise to deload just a little bit while I'm overloading the calves in the gym, just to balance everything out so I don't get any other issues. The rocker on this shoe is so nice. It just rolls, you can't see that. It just rolls really, really nicely, and for a shoe with a foam as soft as this, it's really quite stable. The laces, they're nothing special, to be honest. I don't really like these laces, but for a normal training shoe, nothing wrong with it. Outsole. This is what I'm the most excited about. You've got way more outsole rubber on these ones, so you should get more mileage out of them. You don't have that exposed midsection in these. The outsole runs the whole way down. And I actually think that kind of adds towards the sort of overall feel of the shoe, with how sort of it's a little bit stiff, because that actually does affect like the stiffness of the shoe, because that rubber is way less flexible and all of that than the foams and everything else. Would I get the Vomero 18 Plus even after only doing like 40k in them? If I had the option between the Icon and the Plus, to be honest, I'd get them both, because I think they serve different roles. But if you can only get one, which, let's be honest, most people can only get one, and in the future I'm only going to be getting one. I'm not going to be running both of them. I would be getting the Plus. I think for the extra $40, I think it is well and truly worth it. When I did my long run last week in the Vomero Icon, the Vomero 18 Icon, I had a great long run on a different course than this morning, but I averaged about 428. And towards the end, that last sort of 30 minutes, to be honest, which is not great when you're trying to be an endurance runner, my legs just started to feel that pounding, whereas these was really only in that last 10 minutes this morning that it's like, 10 to 20 minutes that I was like, I'm getting tired, but my feet aren't hurting. Last big note on these before we come back to them after 100k. So keep an eye out, because I will do a 100k plus update on these. I did not find I had anywhere near the issues breaking this shoe in that I had with this one. Now, it may have just been this specific pair of Vomeros that I had issues with, but I just had hot spots for weeks in these, and it's just really causing me all sorts of issues. Whereas in this shoe, I had a couple little hot spots underneath my foot in the first run and in the second run, but by this morning, all gone. No issues whatsoever.